Good morning, students. In the previous video, we have studied about Pratiharas and tripartite struggle. We were reading the chapter The Rise of Small Kingdoms in North India, the chapter we are taking. Now we will take up Rajputs. As we all know that after the tripartite struggle, these three kingdoms, Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas, they ended up. And by their ending, so many different kind of changes that has happened in India were three developments took place. Number one development was that India came in close contact with Western and Central Asia. That was a kind of development because of the trade also. They came in contact. Second, the most of the territories were under the Rajputs, but the thing was that they were fighting with each other. There wasn't any unity among the Rajputs. So because of this kind of political instability, they were not able to guard their borders, and Turkish invasions took place at that time because Rajputs were busy in their own warfare. Instead of guarding our country from the enemies, they were just spreading their own territories within the country. The Rajputs played an important role in medieval India. So, in medieval India, Rajputs' role was very important. They were famous for their bravery. They were very brave. There is no clarity about the origins of Rajputs. We don't know how Rajputs were originated. The word Rajput means son of a king, but all the Rajputs do not belong to royal families. Many Rajput families trace their origin to sun or moon and thus are known as Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi. These are also the things that they says that they have born from sun and from moon. Likewise, they have taken up names Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi. Respectively, some historians believe that the Rajputs are the descendants of foreign tribes who had settled in India. Some historians also says that some foreign tribes, some people from foreign came to India and they are the descendants of those people. It is also believed that the main four clans of Rajputs were born from fire altars. They are born from fire. It is being said, we are not clear about that. They are also known as Agni Kulas. That means they are born from Agni. They are Parmaras, Pratiharas, Chauhans, and Chalukyas. There were about 36 clans of Rajputs. Chauhan dynasty enjoys a special place of prestige among all the Rajput clans. Clans are the divisions of their castes. The Chauhan kings ruled over Gujarat and parts of Rajasthan. Chauhans were very famous among all the Rajputs. They ruled over Gujarat and some parts of Rajasthan. Prithviraj Chauhan, most famous ruler, was the most powerful among Chauhans. He came to the throne in 1177 CE. He made many conquests. He was so brave and he conquered various parts. He also checks the advances made by Muhammad Ghori of Gaur, Afghanistan, by defeating him at the Battle of Tarain near Bhatinda. He was so brave and he took steps to stop those invasions from Afghanistan. He fought a war with Muhammad Ghori of Afghanistan near Bhatinda. Even today, Prithviraj Chauhan remains a hero of many folk tales of, it is written over here, of India. Chand Bardei composed an epic poem, Prithviraj Raso, which narrates his bravery and heroism. Prithviraj Chauhan was so famous that nowadays also he is a folk hero. He is a hero of many folk tales. And Chand Bardei, a poet, has composed a beautiful poem on Prithviraj Raso. In this poem, his bravery and his heroism was narrated. Do you know you will read it by yourself? The struggle for supremacy and constant infighting created disunity and enmity among Rajputs. Rajputs, their main problem was they were so brave. They were so brave, but the main problem was they are fighting with each other. Because of that fighting, they created disunity. Unity was not there, and hatred among themselves also. They attracted the Muslims invasions in India. Because of these instability conditions in India, Muslims invaded our country. The Rajput failed to join hands with each other to defend India from Arab invasions. So they were failed to join their hands so that they could guard their own country. So that's why Arab invasions happened in India. Governance in North India. So what kind of governance, how the administration was running in the North India? Administration, the king was all powerful in North India, so the supreme power held in the hands of king. He was assisted by different officials. Many people were assigned duties to help king. The empire was divided into provinces, like we have states. So in small territories it was being divided. The king was the head of the military as well as the judiciary. The king spent huge amounts of money on building up strong armies. So king was the head of military also, king was the head of judiciary also. King's decision was the supreme, and king, he spent huge amount on developing his army. Economy, what kind of economy was there? There was a great economic disparity among social classes. Economic disparities means rich and poor. So there was a huge differences. The royal family and officials and traders were prosperous. They were rich. The people living in villages were poor. The temples were the center of riches and hence attracted a lot of invaders. Poor people living in villages were very poor. They have to pay taxes also. The temples were the, you know people used to pay their tributes to temples, and that's why temples were rich, and hence it was the reason that invaders came to India to loot the temples. Feudal system was prevalent in North India. The kings granted land as reward to officers, were came to known as Thakurs or Rais. So this was feudal system, and they provide military assistance to king at the time of war. So what they used to do, when king used to gift them certain villages, certain places, and at the time of war they used to help king. The feudal system led to the decline of many empires, as the feudal lords gave only a small part of the land revenue to the king. Because of the feudal system, this is a feudal system that gifting piece of land of your territory to a person, and in return he is going to help you in the warfare. But feudal system, it destroyed so many kingdoms, because feudal lords, those who were ruling over there, those who were collecting revenue, they used to give a very little revenue to the king, and because of this the power of king was weakened. Society, what kind of society was there? The rigid caste system led to the division of Indian society. The king, the feudal lords, and Brahmins in high position. So caste system was there and society was divided. The king, the feudal lords, and the Brahmins in high positions, these three were in the high positions, and they enjoyed the luxury of luxurious life. Land was cultivated mainly by Shudras, and they were burdened by taxes and social discrimination. So the condition of Shudras was very bad. They were burdened by taxes. They had to pay taxes, and social discrimination also they had to face. The condition of women was quite miserable. So condition of women was also not good. They were deprived of education. The evil practices of sati, child marriage, and polygamy contributed to the decline of the status of women. So at that time they did not allowed to have any kind of education, and evil practices, bad practices of sati pratha was there. Child marriage and polygamy means keeping more than two or more wives. So what kind of religion? So because of these things the status of women declined. Women did not have any good status in the society. Religion, the Rajputs mainly worship god Vishnu and Shiva. So there were their devotees, and they also worship goddess Kali, Lakshmi, and Durga. Rajput kings gave gifts to the land to the Brahmins. Brahmade, or it is known as Agrahara. You know, Rajputs used to give gifts to Brahmins. They were worshipped by them. Hinduism became more popular than Buddhism. Many Buddhists took shelter in Southeast Asia when the Turk attacked monasteries at Nalanda. So at that time, Hinduism was more important than Buddhism and even popular than Buddhism. When Turks attacked monasteries of Nalanda, many Buddhists ran away from the country. During this period, the Bhakti saints preached devotion to God and oppose social discrimination, superstitions, and narrow mindedness. Bhakti saints we will study in the upcoming chapters. They came in light, and what they did, they just preached God. They just worshipped God, and they wanted to stop this kind of social discrimination the society was having at that time. So students, today up to here only we will study. Revise the chapter thoroughly, only then you will be able to understand the chapter. Thank you students, have a nice day.